Hello everybody, welcome back to yet another video. What I got for you guys today, and that is my review on the 2019 Atlanta Folds of Honor QuikTrip 500 Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series race from this past weekend. And so with that being said, let's begin straight into the video. So there are three important topics going into this race: tire wear, the new aero package, and who will prevail. So in the opening stages of the Folds of Honor QuikTrip 500, Aric Almirola and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. took us to green, and surprisingly, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. led one lap of this race, and then Aric Almirola continued to lead the rest of the race from that point onwards until the competition caution. Later onwards in the stage, Aric Almirola was caught with a speeding penalty, and he was already dominating the race at this point of time. He also had to deal with some guys like Kyle Larson, Mark Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, and Clint Bowyer as well in this stage. And then by the end of the stage, which went pretty much caution-free except for the competition caution, we're not going to count that, Kyle Larson won Stage 1. Stage 2 basically played out pretty calmly. I mean, we did have some incidents in this stage, like, for example, Kyle Busch blowing a tire, which that put out the caution and stuff like that. And obviously, we were set up for a lot of restarts, as the restarts were very interesting in this race as a whole. And so, throughout the final laps of Stage 1, it was between Kyle Larson and Kevin Harvick. Kyle Larson was able to hold off Harvick for just only a couple of laps until he got a bit loose entering turn 4, I believe, and then Kevin Harvick just ran past him. And Kevin Harvick, even with this aero package, nothing can stop him, as he went ahead and won stage number 2. So heading into stage number 3, this was obviously the longest part, of the race and stuff like that, as it always is, with Atlanta and stuff like that. I mean, Atlanta just seems like the race just goes on and on. Not much happened during this point of time, but things did happen on pit road, though, that put out the fourth caution of the day, and that was a contact between Ryan Preece and BJ McLeod on pit road. So once again, a Rick Ware racing car is involved in a crash on pit road. And I'm not going to blame BJ McLeod. This was a racing incident, but I will blame BJ McLeod because oh my God, it's just that one of these days, one of those damn Rick Ware racing cars are going to be wrecking on pit road and stuff like that, and stuff. And so ultimately, around this point of time, Kyle Larson also got a speeding penalty as well. I think it was on the pit stop where Kyle Busch blew a tire or something. Or I think it was this pit stop. I'm pretty sure it was this pit stop. And also NASCAR, they screwed up the starting order. Everyone was not where they were supposed to be, and it was just all weird and stuff like that. And going down to the final 20 laps of the race, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano was leading the race, and Brad Keselowski was behind. Brad Keselowski was able to get past Joey Logano when Joey Logano came in because I believe he had a tire going down, or maybe it was something with the car. I'm not really so sure. And also, while this was happening, Daniel Hemrick, who one of the rookies in the field and for 2019, was running 5th. Yeah, he was running 5th. And then guess what? A blown tire screwed his good day up. Man, that must have sucked. It sucked for me as a Daniel Hemrick fan. And obviously, at this point in time, Mark Truex Jr. was trying to catch up to Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He was trying to get past Ricky Stenhouse Jr. actually, and Stenhouse was holding him up. We're actually going to be talking about this in a little bit. But yeah, that happened, and then Truex was gaining on Keselowski, but it just wasn't enough. And in the end, Brad Keselowski won the Folds of Honor QuikTrip 500, and he did it with a stomach flu, and everything was pretty good that day for Team Penske. So that was the overall highlights of the race. Now, time to get on to my opinions of the Folds of Honor Clip Trip 500. Okay, I'll say one thing. This race was better than last year's. Last year's was just kind of a snooze fest. Kevin Harvick was really dominating the race. And what really kind of made this race kind of more better was that it wasn't Kevin Harvick that was dominating the race. Plus, I didn't even think he was gonna win. I knew he wasn't gonna win at all, and stuff like that. I mean, hey, Keselowski, won his second Atlanta race, and what the cool thing was is that he did it with a stomach flu. And hey, I give mad props to the driver for that. I mean, he sat through the whole race, and stuff like that. Now time to get on to my opinion on the 2019 Aero Package. The 2019 Aero Package really didn't provide much. Not much passing. I mean, it was really hard to pass with these with the Aero Package. It's not only that. I mean, it's the cars as well. Side force is just a big issue. Big old pocket of air. And actually, as a matter of fact, if this was in a Gen 4 scenario, this finish would have maybe ended up like 1998 with Dale Earnhardt and I think Bobby Labonte, or that was 1999 or 2000. I'm not so sure. Or something like that. Or Kevin Harvick and Jeff Gordon in 2001. But, yeah, so overall, the 2019 Aero Package is decent, but not great. The one thing it did provide, though, was the restarts. The restarts were crazy. I mean, and plus, the restarts were the most exciting part of the whole entire race, and stuff like that. But hey, it was just your typical Atlanta race. I mean, it was nothing special about it. I mean, Atlanta, it's not really an interesting track we kind of go to. Not anymore, and stuff like that. I mean, it's known for its finishes and stuff like that. But I'm not so sure. Plus, I mean, tire wear is just so important at this racetrack, and stuff like that. It's just crazy, I mean, it's just crazy. So now it's time to talk about some of the key things that came out of the Atlanta race, and that is the comments that Martin Truex Jr. made after the race and after the race and stuff like that. So after the race, Martin Truex Jr. complained about how Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 17 was holding him up, and also pointed out how lap cars have no respect for the leaders. Now, I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions on this, but the overall thought of this is that people are calling Truex a crybaby. They're calling Truex Kyle Busch 2.0 or something like that, or the next Kyle Busch. Now, I'm going to go over my opinion. Martin Truex Jr. has every right to be mad at a lap car. Okay? Martin Truex Jr., he's out there to win a race, okay? He's desperately out there to win a race. Now, out of all the comments he made, the one comment I don't really agree with him as well, but not by that much, is how Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is out racing for anything. A race car driver in a racetrack is racing for something, I mean, usually not every driver, but at least nearly every race car driver is racing for something, I mean, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. maybe trying to race for points, maybe trying to salvage a decent finish out of that car, which hadn't been good ever since he got that speeding penalty, and stuff like that. Plus, I mean, it's not really a rule where you can't hold up the second place winner, the second place driver, but plus it was the second place driver, so Ricky Stenhouse Jr. does get the defense here and stuff like that. But hey, and also I'm thinking that Martin Truex Jr. is frustrated as well. I mean, guys, the last time Martin Truex Jr. had won a race was Kentucky in 2018 in July. Based off of Martin Truex Jr. standards from 2017. He's on a long winless streak, and he's desperately trying to get a win and stuff like that. I mean, he couldn't get a win, obviously with Furniture Row Racing in their final couple months after they basically announced they were shutting down and stuff like that. So, and plus, Martin Truex Jr. and Cole Pearn and everyone on the 19 team are trying obviously to win the race. And obviously, and if you're calling Martin Truex Jr. a crybaby, then well, screw you then. I mean, what kind of why could you call Martin Truex Jr. a crybaby? A driver complains. A driver needs to say something. He's going to say something, you know? Look at this. Martin Truex Jr., a very old veteran, is saying some interesting stuff. More interesting stuff than the drivers that NASCAR are trying to promote, like Chase Elliott or Ryan Blaney. Hey, I love both of those guys, Chase Elliott being my favorite driver, but hey, you don't have to people who just call Martin Truex Jr. a crybaby, you obviously don't know how Martin Truex Jr. feels, and you don't know how a race car driver feels finishing second, and you don't know how it feels to be on a long winless streak. Hell, Jimmie Johnson is probably feeling this way, which, oh, by the way, we're now going to be talking about Hendrick Motorsports right now. Oh boy, what a weekend for Hendrick Motorsports. And I'm not saying that in a sarcastic way, but yeah, Hendrick Motorsports struggled this weekend really, really badly. None of their cars ran in the top 10. All their cars were running slow. Chase Elliott was running slow. Alex Bowman was running slow. William Byron was running slow. And Jimmie Johnson, well, no surprise, he was running pretty slow too. So, yeah, for my opinions on their struggles, I'm honestly not surprised. The reason being is that this is going to be the exact same thing like last year. In the first half of the season, they're going to suck. But then one of their drivers will prevail and win races. And I'm really thinking that driver is going to be Chase Elliott. No doubt about it. Now, I'm thinking it could be maybe William Byron as well. Maybe because now Chad Canals is his crew chief. But then again, that car used to be Casey Kane's car. And it sucked really bad. And stuff like that. So, the fact is that the Chip Ganassi cars and the JTG Doria Racing cars were running better than the engine provider team. Is just like, what the hell, and stuff like that. It's just, I'm honestly not surprised with Hendrick Motorsports' struggles. It was really tough to just watch Chase Elliott just not really run well. But hey, the dude is most likely going to win a race this season. Don't worry about it. Now, is this a fluke? I'm not necessarily saying, I'm not thinking it's a fluke. I'm thinking that this is really kind of a preview of Hendrick Motorsports' struggles. But hey, then again, I could be wrong. Just watch one of them win this weekend in Las Vegas, which, by the way, that's not going to happen. I bet my ass. So there you go, guys. That is my review of the Folds of Honor Crib Chip 500, or aka the Atlanta race from this weekend. Overall, for the weekend itself, the Xfinity race was not that good. The truck race wasn't even that good either. But I'll give my opinions on those races in the podcast for tomorrow. Check out Rowdy Smoke 14's channel. I'll leave a link in the description below for his channel. And overall, this was a pretty decent race. Was it a good race? Yeah. Was it a bad race? No, I won't say. It was your typical average Atlanta race. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.